displacing residents of over 600 houses, 5 local government areas, Anambra West, Anambra East, Ogbaru, Oka North, and Ayamelum, and were severely affected. And Miata Anam community in Anambra West local government area is among the worst hit areas. Residents, including children, wade through waters to access essential services. Roads, houses, markets, churches, schools, and public facilities are submerged. Residents resort to paddling or riding wooden canoes to reach their destinations. Farmer Neka actually recounted her ordeal when she talked about how the flood started just few days ago, and it's now everywhere. And most people have evacuated, but some farmers remain to secure their belongings. Now, this part of it is the problem. A lot of times when we hear about flooding, we hear the government say, leave those places. Move away from your houses, go to higher grounds. But now when you get to hear from the people and hear the reasons, some of them still stay back. And staying back, a lot of times they get to lose their lives to these flood situations. How can we solve this problem? Because the big issue, if lives are being lost, then it has already gotten to the extreme. These people know that people are losing their lives around, but they stay back. And when you hear their reasons, you hear my livelihood, my farm, I need to secure it, my house, I need to secure it. These cases that have been on for a long time and still going on. What is your thought on this, George?
I always refer to Albert Einstein's definition of insanity, that doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a new result, is insanity. And I will continue to refer to that definition because that gives us a clear answer of why we continue to talk about flooding, devastating and destroying lives and properties in Nigeria. Recently in the United States of America, they faced a Hurricane Helene. They call it different names. Now, what lessons can we learn from their experience? One of the characteristics of bad leadership, or bad leaders, is that they fail to listen. We don't learn from past events or past incidences that have happened. We rather wait for the next flood to happen. When a particular flood incident or disaster breaks out, we should sit down and learn from it and prepare to prepare for the next one. We don't wait for the next flooding to prepare us, but rather we sit down and prepare for the next flooding. Because what stops the next one from happening if we are not doing anything now to reduce the loss of lives? It's easy to tell the people that you should move from your location to a higher ground. What provision have the government put in place for housing? Are there emergency
for
medical
the higher
response?
grounds?
The higher grounds, are they in the air? Can you find it? Where are the higher grounds? What are the infrastructure that have been put in place for these people? In this same program, once I talked about creating even mental health services, creating programs, emergency health response, training first responders, training and equipping them with the facilities, the ambulance, helicopter service, all these things. We can do it. We should learn from other countries. We emulate the United States of America. We copy their federalism and their democracy. We should also copy how they do things rightly. And of course, during natural disasters, a lot of lives will be lost, but you can minimize the loss of lives and properties.
Who do we hold responsible now? The federal or the state government, or the people who refuse to move out and remain there? I know, Deima, you want to say something about that, but let's bring Ugochukwu into the conversation.
You see, Jackson, I am so lukewarm speaking about these natural disasters in Nigeria. My reasons are this. When I was studying in Philippines, they have what they call typhoon, different names, depending on the person that quickly discovered it. Maybe as it's coming, they name it after those scientists that are able to figure it out. So they have makeshift houses in those typhoon-prone areas that at the end, when the typhoon comes, it destroys those makeshift houses. By then, the government has evacuated their people to the higher lands. After the typhoon, the government quickly goes back, puts back the structures for the people, and they go back and continue their livelihood because they are area that has a very large water mass. Then I give you an example, like my brother George have said. When I first traveled out of this country, I saw a lot of good things. I said, is it that our leaders go there, see all those things, they board the flight. Once they get to the airport, they leave all the ideas in the plane, and the Airbus carries it back to where they are coming from. I begin to wonder. We hear of one particular African president who went for ear surgery in one of the European countries and came back and called his Minister of Health to replicate that thing that took him out. Then I have in good authority and information, when I was in Malaysia, Najib, the former president of Malaysia, told the US that in few years' time they will be queuing to look for a visa to Malaysia. And that is why the US did not assist them in looking for that MH70 that became a household name when it was missing. So these are countries that, that copy what is right, like my brother have said. We copy people by making a lot of statements, bringing out white papers and all that. At the end of the day, we won't see it. Why am I saying all these things? We have Governor Soludo in Anambra State, who is a technocrat, whom the people thought has come to, rewrite the narratives in Anambra State and make things happen. Ecological funds are there, or 13% oil derivations are there, allocations come in, and we also blame the Nigerian governments of the past that decided to do whatever they like with the monies that came from UNICEF or whatever international body that gave the monies in the 70s to build a collecting dam. That when Cameroon built their own, that at the end of the time, the Cameroonians will collect the water, and to get to a limit that they have to open up the dams. And Nigeria should build a dam that will collect the waters, knowing that we are a country that is surrounded by water, River Benue, and another major river is River Niger. And Anambra State, we are talking about, are living around the River Niger axis. And they know that those, as the world evolves, as the climate change continues to come up, we are going to have this disaster in our hands. And recall that in 2012, there was just a kind of the God, Nigerians like God a lot. And they decided to show them a little of what is coming. Since 2012, I don't want to go far. What concerted effort have Nigerian government made in making sure that this thing that we have known that is becoming a yearly occurrence? Even people in Bayelsa, people in River State, those river-prone, water-prone areas. Look at what happened in Borno State. So the blame should be on the government, not the federal now, because the state government received their own allocation of ecological funds. What are those funds meant for?
If the federal government have not been able to handle that all these years, then how come we expect the state government?
The state government can do something in their own right. We are a federating unit. The state government, the local governments can do something in their right to protect their people. Their people are their primary responsibility. And anything that will cause is a natural disaster. Yes, it will come. But you have to mitigate. That is what we call about the mitigation of where are the projection that NIMET gives, where are the NIMASA, and what they are waiting. If you read down, you'll find that they have started distributing palliatives. Nigeria has become a country where they give handouts, and people, the middlemen are also making their money. They allow those things to happen. In my own view, the government, the people that have the statutory responsibility to nip those things in the board or checkmate them, at least to the barest minimum, are only waiting for the time it will happen. And they will make their own gains from there.
That is what a lot of Nigerians believe.
But
George,
that is what it is.
Do you agree that people sit back and do not play the roles that they are supposed to, and expect these natural disasters to happen so that they can, gain some funds from it?
It depends on the intention of the people. Some people derive joy when there's unfortunate incidents like this, so that maybe based on their selfish interests, so that they can steal more money for themselves in the name of they're trying to respond to the natural disaster. It's quite unfortunate, but it shows you the kind of leadership that we have. That's why we need reformation. We need to raise leaders that have the fear of God, not just leaders that talk about God. There's a difference between leaders that talk about God and leaders that have the fear of God. The leaders that have the fear of God respect the human dignity, the dignity of life, the sanctity of life, the fact that the citizen of a country is valuable to the development of the country. And when a particular community is in crisis, it affects every one of us.
Because when we look at what happened in Borno State, after all the monies that were released from the federal government, from individuals, from groups, and all of those monies that were
become a political ground.
We then heard that the people of the state were protesting against hunger. And you're asking, the monies that were released, what exactly were they used to scoop the water away from the state if hunger was not taken care of?
You can force a horse to the stream, but you can't force the horse to drink. The money that has been released will be used by human beings. In this country, it has become like Animal Farm by George Orwell. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
No, we have humans in this country. But then I had to explain that, because we have people watching and some people might not understand the aspect you're coming from. Yes.
Let me explain what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, based on that novel, the novel is trying to state that some people have classified themselves more important than others. Now, I'm not trying to demonize anybody. I'm trying to use the novel to explain the situation.
So why does it look like hands are being folded, especially with what has happened? When you saw the monies released and then the people complained of hunger, protested actually.
Leadership, that's the key thing. It's a question of leadership. We don't have
the mindset.
Leaders, the kind of leaders we have. That's why I always talk about we raising leaders that have the fear of God. First of all, you have to have the fear of God. We talk so much about God, but we don't have the fear of God. If you have the fear of God, not
everybody is Christian, you know that.
No, it doesn't mean whether you're a Christian or a Muslim.
No, even not. There are people that don't serve God at all.
Whether you
whether in any means or not, they do not.
Whether you believe in God or you're an atheist or you don't believe in God, you must respect human beings and human lives.
Okay.
You must love people and treat people with respect. If you love people and treat people with respect, you won't go and steal their money that is meant to alleviate them from a particular suffering. You don't even need to be a religious person. Just do the right thing. Look at the Western societies. Most of them don't have any religion. They don't have any religious attachment, but they do the right things.
All right, thank you so much, David.
Before you flip over, I want to quickly say that I don't know if you came across one video that circulated a few months ago. It was posted from one of our brothers in the US.
Okay.
Where a house was on fire in Nigeria and people were praying because there was no access to the fire service, and people were praying. He said that look at what our nation has been reduced to. I don't want to call our leaders now. Have been reduced to that if a house is on fire, and people are praying to God to come and quench the fire.
When you talked about orientation earlier, when you talked about orientation earlier, I didn't fault it.
Yes.
Because there are lots of things that people should know about.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know what to do.
So
some people do not know who to call when there's a situation like that. They don't know who to call. They just know that they should call their neighbors to do something. But some people don't even know anything about any fire service. A lot of people don't have an idea about that.
And that is why in Rivers State, I've been advocating for a functional fire service station. I've been advocating for it in the past 3 months, both on television and on the radio. And the government have not heard my cry. But when you see these natural disasters, they are unexpected, but these ones are expected. I will not classify what happened in Anambra State now as a natural disaster. The only one I will classify as a natural disaster is the one that happened in Borno, because maybe this is the first time they are seeing it in such magnitude. But with the picture that was sent to Nigeria on 2012, the government of Anambra State would have done something. Okay, where do they want the people? Where are the hard lands that they want the people to go? Where are the places? Now they have created IDP camps. They have created emergency areas that people will stay. What are the facilities put in place? Is it a fire brigade approach we see in Nigeria? We are quick to copy other people, but we are not quick to learn the rudiments of what they are doing to move it to really get it to the end.